Good day, I'm Stacey Ann Smith and this is your JIS News for Friday, June 20. True to his promise, the Justice Minister is taking legislation to Parliament next week that paves the way for persons with existing criminal records for smoking or possession of small quantities of ganja to expunge or clear their records.
There is a bill that I expect to come to Cabinet for approval to be tabled in Parliament. That should come to Cabinet on Monday coming, which will deal with the expungement of criminal records for small quantities and for smoking of ganja, yes, both the past and going forward.
The bill to amend the Criminal Records Rehabilitation of Offenders Act is part of several planned revisions to marijuana regulations in Jamaica. The Dangerous Drugs Act is also to be amended to make it a ticketable offence if persons are caught smoking ganja and granting consent for its use in the medical and scientific fields as well as for religious purposes. Plans to establish renewable energy projects across Jamaica have taken another step forward. Energy Minister Philip Polwell says the ministry has completed the Sustainable Energy Roadmap that will guide the process.
And that project states that renewable energy can reliably meet more than 90% of Jamaica's electricity demand while lowering energy costs. That just 10 medium-sized wind farms, for example, at about 60 megawatts each, could provide more than half of Jamaica's current power demand, and the generating costs of just over 5 and 10 US cents per kilowatt hour respectively. New hydro and wind power facilities are already competitive energy sources.
Minister Polwell was speaking at the launch of Grand Palladium Hotels and Resorts solar roof system recently. Government will be developing a comprehensive beach access and management policy that will enshrine access to beaches for Jamaicans into law. The announcement was made in Parliament Tuesday by the State Minister of Water, Land, Environment and Climate Change, Ian Hales.
The main goals of the policy are to provide physical access to the beach, foreshore and the sea, and to manage on a managed basis to the general public, and to increase the opportunities for recreational use of the beach and coastal areas in an environmentally sound manner. It also aims to protect the traditional rights of fishermen to access the foreshore of the sea upon beaching of their vessels.
There are currently 86 public beaches, 33 of which are managed by the Natural Resources Conservation Authority. The main legislation governing the management and use of beaches is the Beach Control Act. Minister Hales says it doesn't inherently or explicitly say that the public has general rights to access and use the seafloor and foreshore, another name for the wet part of the sand. The policy being developed will fix that. The ministry will be holding public consultations on the matter later this year. Meanwhile, persons who illegally remove or destroy plants and other forest products will have to pay more when caught. Environment and Climate Change State Minister Ian Hales says the fines will be increased for offences committed against the Forest Act of 1996 and the 2001 Forest Regulations.
I take this opportunity to make an appeal to all Jamaicans. Please stop raiding our forests. We must preserve what we have. And if you breach the regulations and chop down our forests, we are coming after you with the full force of the law.
Currently, about 8% of Jamaica is considered protected forests, but those are constantly under threat from forest raiders. As part of its response, the Environment and Climate Change Ministry is also encouraging Jamaicans to plant 500,000 trees this year. And high-level climate talks will begin in Montego Bay next Monday. Over 500 participants from more than 50 countries will meet for the two-day International Climate Investment Fund's CIF Partnership Forum to be held at the Montego Bay Convention Center. It's being co-hosted by the CIF Administrative Unit and the Inter-American Development Bank. CIF is an $8 billion pilot that brings together donor and recipient countries, multilateral development banks, private sector, civil society and other entities in a concerted effort to trigger climate-smart investments. The Partnership Forum will provide the Jamaican government with an opportunity to highlight what has been achieved through the CIF within the broader context of the country's climate change strategy and objectives. And finally, the Office of the Children's Registry has appointed 9 new child ambassadors who will be advocates, bringing increased awareness to issues surrounding child abuse. Youth and Culture Minister Lisa Hanna has hailed the program, saying children are more likely to talk to their peers when they're being abused.
One of the ways that we have to improve the lives of our children is getting our children to speak. Is getting them to speak about the things that affect them. It's getting them to speak and understand that it doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are, where you come from or what you look like. If someone is abusing you or if you feel uncomfortable, it is your right by law, by constitution, by international convention, that the law protects you.
The 2014 to 2016 group from parishes across the island consists of 8 girls and 1 boy, ranging from 11 to 16 years old. And that's it for JIS News today. I'm Stacey Ann Smith. Thank you for watching.